Hello, it's Gary here from the Female Entrepreneur Association, and welcome to the 10-Minute Masterclass, your weekly dose of inspiration to build a successful business. So, if you have ever struggled to write copy that sounds like you and feels like you, then you are going to love this episode, because we are joined by the amazing Nikki Elledge Brown, founder of A Course About Copy, and she's going to be sharing exactly how you can write amazing and effective copy that sounds just like you. So Nikki, thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you back. You're always full of such amazing information, so it's always good to have you here. I'm also really excited about this because I love copy and it's so important in business, but I feel like it's something that so many of us struggle with. I know that there have been so many times when whether it's been writing a sales page or an email or my about page, and I've sat down to write and it just doesn't feel right at all, and you almost don't even know how to make it actually feel right. And I just think this is something that so many people struggle with, which is kind of a problem, because I feel like in this online world that we live in, the main way we share our message is through what we write. And so if what we write isn't actually a true representation of our brand and doesn't really resonate with our audience, then it's kind of a problem. So I think there's so many people out there like, help me, how do I write copy that actually sounds like me? So I'm excited to talk to you all about this, because I know you have so many wonderful tips and exercises to share. So let's just jump straight in. What can people do to write really effective copy that sounds like them?
So before I get into the specific tips, I just want to talk about why you would even want to write copy that sounds like you. And it's funny that you say it's a problem, because I'm like, actually, it's worked out quite well for me, because that's what my whole business has been about, is helping people do this. Because my background's in, just communication studies in general. And whenever I decided to start a business, I realized this is exactly what people are struggling with, because they feel like they're stuck in their corporate job where they had a very specific style guide that wasn't anything like they were actually naturally communicating like, or just a bad experience in English class with a teacher who told them that they were horrible at writing. Yeah. And that really gets to you. And so I know we've done a previous video about all the mindset piece, but I just want to make sure everybody knows, like, here's my perspective and where I'm coming from, because I have built a rather profitable business, and it didn't take very long at all. By month 2, it was rather profitable. By communicating as I actually do and helping people do the same. The reason why I'm so passionate about it is because I believe that business doesn't have to mean boring, and professional doesn't have to mean formal. So just because you want to come across as professional, that's fine. Using a contraction doesn't take away from your expertise or your experience at all. It's fine, because that's how you would actually communicate if you saw somebody at the grocery store who asked you, what's your business about? How can you help me? Yeah. Which probably doesn't happen too often at the grocery store, but if it did, you'd be ready. So anyway, so some people disagree and think that conversational isn't professional, and we'll talk about that more in just a little bit. But I just wanted to start off by saying your dream clients appreciate you for exactly who you are. Your dream clients and customers. If you want to work with people and be able to let your guard down and not remember which face you have to put on when you're engaging with them, this is the easiest way to do that. Okay, so we're going to talk about a few things. Number 1 is how to make sure you're not sharing too much information, because there is definitely a line that it's a fine line, and you have to navigate it, but avoiding TMI. And then we're going to talk about it's a super simple exercise just to check, to do a little check. Does this sound weird, stiff, salesy, or awkward? And then we'll talk about how to deal with people who aren't a big fan of your communication style. So the first one is what I call the TMI test, because you'll see in anything that I share, I talk about smart, authentic communication, which another way of saying that is clear, sincere communication. Because I'm a fan of showing up as you are, and not putting on a front and pretending to be a certain way, but you also have to be smart about it. Your copy, in order to be effective, conversational, and just, dear diary, here's what I'm thinking today, here's what I'm feeling today, with no purpose, that's not going to be effective. That's not going to convert, and conversions are important because this is a business. You want people to take action. So when you pair the smart piece with the authentic piece, and you make sure there's a purpose behind everything that you're doing, and then you're making sure that you're delivering that message in your flavor, then that's great. So how do you make sure you're being smart about what you share? 2 questions, the TMI test. Number 1, does it really add value in some way? Excuse me. And I use that term loosely. Because adding value could be something really silly, like this video of me and Carrie with bloopers from a video that we did sometime last year or earlier this year, whatever it was. And it's just funny. Like, it just makes people laugh. It's entertaining. It just helps lighten the mood. That's adding value. So it's not that it always has to be serious. I'm not sharing anything unless it's 5 practical tips. But maybe it is. Maybe it is really valuable in that way. So however you and your audience define value, that's the first test of, okay, is this something worth sharing? And then number 2 is, are you really comfortable sharing it? My Papa Bradshaw used to say, if you wouldn't want it on the front page of the newspaper, then you probably shouldn't do it. And so today's version of that would be, if you don't want it on the first page of Google, then you probably shouldn't share it. And so that doesn't just affect you, but it affects the people you're sharing about. I'm a mom. I don't want to share anything that my sons, I've got one in the oven right now, would be horrified by one day, whenever they see it come up in the Google search or whatever is going to be happening when they're online. So those are the 2 questions. Does it add value, and are you really comfortable sharing it? And sometimes it's scary to share things, but again, just think of the context of the relationship that you have with your audience or where you're sharing it. It's different to share something on a blog versus to share something with a client that you've built that personal relationship with. And it's like, okay, at this phase, this is good. This is why I just don't recommend giving away deep, dark secrets and like your whole relationship history on your about page. Just think of it kind of like a first date. There are layers and there's time to develop that relationship. The second thing is, it's another quick and easy test. It's called the Bff Test. And this is what I recommend you do to not only catch typos, because when you read something out loud, it helps you hear things that your eyeballs didn't catch if you were just reading it in your head. But read your copy out loud, whether it's a Facebook post or a blog post or an email or even your sales page. Read it out loud, and if you feel like a goonburger when you read it, like, oh, this is not what I would say, then you know that's a sign to go back and tweak it and style it up a bit. And I call it the Bff Test because you can be your own best friend and read it to yourself. Or if you've got your best friend, or you just even think, would I be so embarrassed if I was reading this out loud to Carrie because this is not at all what I sound like? Then again, there's room for improvement. And you have to be patient with yourself. And we talk about that in the mindset video as well. And then the last piece that I wanted to talk about is that it's okay. I know it's hard. I get it. Trust me, I know. It's hard to realize that not everybody's going to like you. When you show up as you are, when you communicate exactly as you would if they were sitting right here in your living room or at your kitchen table, not everybody's going to like you. I'm sorry. It's true. It's true. And it's okay. Because, again, you only have so many hours of the day. There's an abundance of people in the world. There will never be an end to the people who can benefit from the value that you're sharing, even just out of the portion of the world that you're not driving crazy. So there's plenty of people that you can serve. Try not to worry about the ones who just don't get it. And this is where I wanted to share an example from my inbox recently, and then I know Carrie has a good one to share too. But just a few weeks ago, I got a really long, it was really polite, but just a really uncomfortable email from someone who basically, she was like, I don't like how you talk to me like I'm your best friend. We're never going to meet. I live here, you live there. It's really unprofessional. It's, to use a word like biz instead of business and whatever. And I appreciated the honesty. I didn't ask for it. So that's one thing. It was unsolicited advice. I appreciated where she's coming from. And it was just a good lesson. There's always a lesson in that. Like, there's always a golden nugget, even in the stuff that stings a little bit. And it's like, okay, good. Because sometimes I'm tempted to feel like I'm just plain. I don't like to say vanilla because vanilla is actually a flavor. But, sometimes I'm tempted to be like, I'm plain. I'm just, a regular, whatever, boring, snoozeworthy. I don't have so much of a personality. So when she did that, I was like, oh, look, I do have a flavor. I'm annoying people. That's good. Because it helps you know that the right people are really the right people. It makes me feel even closer to the people who enjoy my emails and who write to say, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I love this one too, So you have to keep perspective. I did end up replying to her, and that's up to you whether or not you choose to reply to someone who just likes to tell you they don't like your haircut or whatever it is. But I did reply and say, I appreciate that we just have 2 very different ways of seeing or looking at what a successful business can look and sound like. And if you want to unsubscribe, you won't hurt my feelings because, again, we have limited time here on earth, and we want to make sure we're serving the people who appreciate us for exactly who we are. And I'm just here to encourage you to say there are plenty of those people out there. So we're going to share some tips Carrie will mention in just a minute that'll give you even more specifics on how to do that. But yeah. I'm passing it back to you, Carrie, for your story.
That was all. Those tips were very concise and very actionable, and I love them. But to my story, and no, I definitely hear you on all this. When you have someone that emails you or messages and they don't like how you've done something, it does hurt a little bit, because who wants to read that about themselves, that someone is not happy with what they've done. And I had it where someone sent me an email really recently saying that the way that I use smiley faces is really unprofessional. I use smiley faces all the time. And that I should tone down the pink, because that is also not very professional. And I agree with you with what you say about how, like, it's, it's good to hear feedback sometimes, and to hear different people's opinion. And I think it does make it clearer that there is a particular audience that we all have, our perfect audience. They really are out there, they do exist, and not everyone falls into that category. And sometimes we need to acknowledge that. And I think that's a good thing, because we can't try and please everyone. I think when we do try and please everyone, that's when we lose our own voice and we stop resonating and connecting with anyone. And I like smiley faces.
I do too. I love emojis. Man, I'm really professional because I use emojis all the time. But one thing I forgot to say earlier is, the internet is a big, wide, worldwide frontier, and there's a lot of people out there who do what you do and offer exactly what you offer. And so your job as the business owner and the one who's controlling this corner of the internet is to help people hear you before they hire you. Your job is to make it obvious why they would want to work with you versus the so-and-so the next tab over. And that's what your personality can do. I mean, you're the one that sets you apart. One health coach versus another health coach, the exact same identical credentials. What makes you different is your story, your experiences, your personality, what you think is funny, your branding, your, like what you think is pretty, whatever it is. That's what's going to help them make a better decision for them. And that's our job, to help people self-select. So my opinion is, whether you're talking to your dream clients or to your grandma, you've got to be yourself.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And the one thing I often think is that building a business and being an entrepreneur is such an adventure, and it should be fun and exciting, because it's about taking something that popped into your head one day and turning it into this reality. And it's just like this crazy life and this crazy experiment, and life is just one big experiment, and it's all just an adventure. So if someone doesn't like something you're doing, it doesn't matter, because it's part of the adventure, it's part of the experiment, and you just have to be more you than ever before, because that's what living is about, isn't it? That's what truly living is when you can be yourself and to do what makes you happy and to communicate the way you want to communicate. And I think if we're all doing that, then we're all going to be getting our message out there in the most powerful way. And so I think that's what we all need to do, basically. Just be more ourselves.
Yes, be you on purpose. And that can sound really daunting and overwhelming, or really like, duh, thank you, Captain Obvious. Of course, I'm going to be myself. But the truth is, I've worked with hundreds of people one-on-one and thousands of people in my business. And it's a struggle for people to get all the blocks out of the way so they can actually show up on the keyboard and on the page. It is a struggle, which is exactly why I created this cheat sheet that we're going to share. And again, I also just want to encourage you to be patient with yourself. It's a process. And you today may be different than you tomorrow. Your voice today may be different than it is 2 hours from now, because something is going to happen and you're going to get really feisty. So it's fine. You can change and grow, but the goal is always the same. It's just to accept and know that you are enough just as you are, especially for the right people. And business is so much more fun when you're working with people who appreciate that piece of you.
And I love the fact that all the exercises that you've shared in this video are so helpful in actually knowing whether you feel like what you're writing is right for your message, because there's so many people out there with so many amazing voices, and sometimes it's so easy to hear someone and to hear someone's style and think, oh my gosh, I love them, I need to be more like them. But I love the fact that your tests are so great to use over and over and over again, because you can really see, actually, no, if I said that, it would not sound anything like me, and I feel like an idiot doing it. So I think
just check that in.
Yeah, and then you can see, actually, no, that's that person and that isn't me, even though I love them. I need to do my own thing. And so I think that's really cool. And like you said, people change all the time. So you keep doing the test and keep knowing, like making sure that it fits okay and that it feels good. So I love it. Thank you so much for coming to share your amazing tips. They are brilliant and I think everyone will love them. Also, I am so excited because Nikki and myself are coming together to do a really fun workshop. It's called the Write Your Site workshop, where Nikki is going to be sharing all the amazing things inside of her brain and about copy so that you can write amazing copy. She's basically going to go more in depth in all this stuff. It's going to be so much fun, and there's also a cheat sheet that goes along with it. But Nikki, can you tell us a little bit more about the cheat sheet?
Yeah, I'm really excited because I just brought it back to life. It was my first freebie ever, and it recently got a fabulous new makeover, and it's called the Conversational Copy Cheat Sheet, and it's just literally just quick and easy tips. There's a very printer-friendly version, starts on page 10 because it's just a PDF, and I just wanted it to be pretty. That's why there's so many pages. But anyway, it's literally just how can you help make your copy more readable? What can you try? Like just really specific things, again, to help accessorize your wardrobe and help the words kind of pop off the page to help people hear you before they hire you. So it's very popular, at least it was in 2013, and it is so far because I just recently reintroduced it to my audience, and they're super excited about it. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's a pre-party favor for when you join us.
Yeah, so definitely go and check that out. It's going to be so much valuable. Also, if at the time you're watching this video, the workshop is over, don't worry, because you can still go and grab the cheat sheet, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be so helpful. So below this video, there should be a link where you can go and sign up and get access to those things. It's going to be so much fun. If you can make it to the webinar, to the workshop, come and join us. We're going to be hanging out, and it's going to be really great. You can ask any questions you want and just learn more about copy and how to write really effective copy that sounds like you. So yeah, if you'd love to join us in, sign up below. And also, if you have enjoyed this video, then make sure you like it and share it with anyone else that you think will enjoy it too. And I would really love you to leave a comment as well, and let us know of any other people that you follow or any brands that you love who do a really good job with their copy, whose emails you read or whose sales pages you read and you just think, oh my gosh, this is brilliant, and they give you that feeling like, oh my god, it was written for me, they get me. So it would be really great to hear who those people are, so definitely leave a comment and let us know. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Nikki, thank you once again, you are amazing, and I will see you all next week for another 10-minute masterclass. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch one of our videos. I really hope that you enjoyed it. I've got something really exciting that I would love to send your way. We have created the Make It Happen guided visualization for you to listen to every single day for the next 30 days to help you to condition yourself to make incredible things happen. And along with that, we have the Make It Happen workbook to help you to get really clear on your goals, to get so much focus and clarity, to make a plan of action so you know what you need to do and when you need to do it. So if you would love us to send them your way, then all you need to do is subscribe to the email list below and they will be on their way to you. So definitely do that and come and join an incredible group of women who are so passionate and determined to achieve amazing things and build successful businesses. And I will see you next week for another 10-minute masterclass.